True. The Business Acceleration Network, where she guides businesses to build a successful enterprise. The Business Acceleration Network brings together social entrepreneurs, visionaries, and new thought leaders who want to collaborate and create a better world and focus on prosperity to pay it forward and make a positive impact. Shannon has aided in developing a thriving business community and created collaborative business adventures throughout the Business Acceleration Summit and Media Magic sales and marketing initiatives. She has produced over 400 events and conferences and up to 100 exhibitors and collaborators, 100 plus actually. I know the rooms are usually packed. And in the process, she's discovered that most event attendees, sponsors, speakers, and exhibitors lack the critical knowledge and planning skills necessary to make their event successful. She's appeared on television, radio, the press, including ABC, NBC, NPR, the Miami Herald. She has co-authored The Law of Business Attraction, The Secret of Cooperative Success, an Amazon #1 bestseller with T. Harv Eker of The Millionaire Mindset. She joined this high energy experience as she shares her the 6 core business accelerators for any economy. And we have a sizzle reel, I think, that we are showing first.
I get to go to a lot of different events. Seeing that transformation in people's lives, I was so inspired by giving them that aha moment.
Shannon will help you attract ideal clients and market and implement a plan in the fine art of conference excellence.
Team is key to be able to go to that next level. I've produced over 400 events, and I've always been passionate about community and bringing people together.
Shannon is available to meet your audience, give them great information, and connect to reach your event goals.
We all have innate wisdom. We all have things to contribute and things to share. A lot of times businesses, they don't know what to do next. But when people are fully immersed in an experience, it can actually forever change their lives.
She really is about collaboration and working together.
Community, and she just does such a great job with her event.
What is the message that you're trying to convey?
Anyone is looking to get a lot of helpful information concerning their business.
That's why she created this, and I thank her for that.
We tend to attract people that want to do more than just work a job. The desire of making an impact in the world.
She's a master at creating strategic alliances, developing sustainable partnerships. I recommend her to any group.
What I love is bringing people together and getting their messages out to the masses and having an impact. My name is Shannon Gronich. Let's collaborate.
To book Shannon, visit www.shannongronich.com.
And on that note,
to bring your productions to life, contact us today.
There's usually the big tune and that she comes in the room, but this is the plan B for our chamber, the Greater Palm Bay Chamber of Commerce. Shannon was our 2020 Distinguished Service Award winner for her tireless dedication as the chairwoman of our Brevard Business Professionals, and we could not give this to her in 2020. We also got a certificate of special recognition, congressional recognition from our Congressman Bill Posey in recognition of outstanding and invaluable leadership in our business community, and I thought this was the perfect place to present that to her. So if you'll indulge me to give her a doesn't happen without a picture, right? And with that, this fabulous Shannon.
Thank you so much. Well, if you can't tell, I love the Chamber of Commerce, and I think that it has been vital for me on my journey. And so before we get started, I just want to share a little bit about why I'm here and what brought me to this point. It was a number of years ago. I had an international business in multiple states, and I ended up getting sick and the economy changed. And at that point, it was brought me to a ground zero. And I had to really evaluate, and it was rough and tough, and single mom, and I don't want to go spend too much time here. But what I realized was that no matter what's happening in life, there's some core things that help each other come out of it, right? And there were core things that I realized that the quicker I did these items, the quicker I was able to grow my business, the quicker I was able to transfer my life, and we've tested this over and over and over again that these principles work with whatever's going on. So we call these the 6 core business accelerators, but I want, as you're thinking about these today, to be looking at, how does this apply in not only the chamber, but for your members? Because they're really counting on us. I mean, with the chambers here, I was so grateful that Nancy was open to hearing what it is that I wanted to contribute. Because I know in community, it's like when we have that opportunity to give, I don't know, how many of you are givers here? I imagine if you're with the chamber, you're a giver, right? You love to make a difference. Well, Nancy was open enough to hear me. And I know a lot of times we get busy in our day-to-day, and hopefully if you can take that one thing is to, give the members that opportunity to get involved, give a chance for innovation, because I know that was pivotal for me to go to the next level in my business, but also to partner with the Chamber of Commerce and have that impact that we're really all here to have. We want to help our businesses grow. So today, my goal is to give you that little nudge, give you that inspiration. See that little baby butt kind of pushing you out the door to go to the next level. I'm going to be sharing some things, and we do 3 and 4 day conferences, and I don't have time to go through all of it, which is why Tammy was so wonderful. We all have books today that we'll work a little bit on. Can we give Tammy a big round of applause? I want to make sure that you have permission to take pictures of the screenshots. I have a survey at the end if you want to give me feedback and want to, the slides you can, but some of it I'm going to go through and just say, here it is, and keep moving on. So the first core accelerator, now this may seem really simple, right? It's like master your message. Master your elevator pitch. And this is one of the things when we started the Chamber Chat and had the greatest impact for some of our members was we helped them with their language. And a lot of times, one example I love to use is when we go to chamber networking events, what does a realtor say? I'm a realtor, I do listings, I've been here X amount of years. It's the same thing over and over again, right? So we would work with people to help them stand out. And some of the things, one of the things we told the realtors say, when's the best time to buy something, right? And the people like you and us saying, come on guys, when's the best time to buy something? When it's on sale. Real estate's on sale right now. And we would tell them, bring 3 listings and say, I have listings right here that you're gonna wanna check out that are new to the market. If you're an investor or you wanna maximize the first-time home buyer at $15,000, come see me. Guess what happened to that person's business? They stood out above everybody else, and it was just amazing. So when we started the Chamber Chat, we invited people to come in, we did a little bit of coaching on their language, and we could just see the transformation in what they're doing. Now I'm going to speak to you. I think you guys have so many hidden treasures, and you expect your members to know, right? And so when you're sharing what you do, continue to cast that vision, but continue to share the benefits. What's in it for them? Like when I looked at what Nancy does with their trustees and the minimal amount of money that people can pay for marketing and sponsoring, it was a no-brainer. So I'm like, every time, Nancy, we gotta tell members this because they're spending money on things that don't work. And not to knock other things, but really taking time to craft your message. And when you come in a group, because I know you have your teams, each of you take time to strategize and figure out, okay, you're going to talk about sponsorship this time. You're going to talk about this event. You're going to talk about this, and come in and work on crafting your message so that you can leave that impact differently with each person. Right? Does that make sense? So I'm going to go through 6 core things. I'm really focused on number 1 and 6, so some of these are going to be kind of quick. So in here, when you're talking about what you're doing, a lot of times there's many different ways of crafting your message. And if you haven't written down your elevator pitch for your chamber, I invite you to take time to do that, because that's a game changer. That's where you can practice, you can get feedback, you can collaborate in the office. But, you know, a lot of times people identify with pain or problems. So it could be the problem is people spend a lot of money on advertising and they don't get the results they want. Or people spend money on advertising and they don't get to meet people directly and make those contacts. So that's one way of doing it. Another way could be just sharing some of the great opportunities that you have, that, you know, by being together in a community and how that will make a difference. So this is just a format that you can take a picture of, you could share with your community, but if there's a way that you can help your members become better with their messaging, it's a game changer. And we had somebody, I love this story because I won't say his name, but we know who it is, those that live here locally. The guy is brilliant at direct mail marketing. He's brilliant at online marketing. He, for years, would come to events and we would all leave there going, what is he saying? Like, what is he doing? We had no idea. And so I spent like 5-10 minutes with him. I said, write it down. He wrote down what it is that he was doing. He came to the next meeting and everybody was blown away. His business skyrocketed. So in my experience, our message is a game changer. If you're not getting clients, you know, then you want to sit down and work on crafting your message. So here's just a sample. You know, this is one, and I like to, you heard me say, when's the best time to buy real estate? Or when's the best time to buy something? It's like, you know, the normal, I'm the chamber president, or I'm in the chamber staff. That's great, but if you can sizzle that up a little bit or make it to where, you know, I help the members find out all of our benefits. I help you get connected. Whatever it is that benefits them, that's going to be key. So another key piece that I have found is a game changer, and this is one that you may want to take a picture of. And also it's in great detail in the book on page 43 and 47. In the book I also have 100 of the most powerful words in the human language. So you use that in conjunction with the bio, but the bio is really powerful for people to know who you are, what you're doing, and how you can make a difference. I know at the chamber, you guys are usually fairly good at that, but I just want to remind you that if you have a member that's struggling, you know, this may be an area that they might need a little bit of love and attention, or this might be an area that maybe you're not using it. As you're trying to get a member, maybe start using your bio to share with people who you are and why they should pay attention. The minute I started using my bio to share with the media and to share with clients, to share with prospects, my business completely transformed, and I had to stop doing what I don't like to brag about myself. Does anybody else have a problem where you don't want to brag about yourself? But I found that in this environment, we gotta be comfortable sharing our gifts and talents, because if people don't know what you're skilled at, then they just don't know. So this is another key piece. And did everybody get a picture? Can I move on to the next one? Great. I want to cue this up just for a minute. So this, you know, the one thing, and I hope you guys don't mind, I'm going to walk around a little bit. The whole message of this first part is the power of our words. And they make the biggest difference in what we're doing and how we communicate. Like with my children, I learned really young, you know, I don't say don't run, I say walk. I don't say don't forget, I say remember. And I don't know if you guys realize this, but our words have so much power, and that's why if we can take the time to emphasize, you know, and write down what it is we're planning on sharing, that this is a game changer. So this video, the first time I saw it, it just really shared the power of that. So I'm gonna, is it gonna restart if I hit? Yeah, try it. Oh, look at that. Go back. There we go.
same, but different words.
I wrote the same, but in different words. Change your words, change your world. So this is the power of, anybody feel that? So much now, I'm just like, it's amazing how we can have an impact and move people with our words. So, hopefully you can be inspired to see value in offering that for your members. So we talked about mastering your pitch. The next thing is collaborating in joint venture. And this is the blood of what you guys do, and this is why what Tammy's doing is so important in this organization, that you guys are coming together and collaborating and resource sharing and learning from each other. And the more that you can do that, just like Nancy did with me, the more you're going to grow, right? The more you're going to soar, and you're going to learn things from each other and be able to share that load, because it's a lot running a chamber. You guys, I am just amazed at the number of events and the record keeping and all that's happening. So finding those ways to joint venture and collaborate. And even when you think somebody's your competition, this is what I found. That if you can get together for lunch and say, hey, what do you do? What do you do? What do you like to do? And what don't you like to do? A lot of times there are incredible referrals that happen. I used to, the business that I said where I went to ground zero, we worked with a lot of natural medicine and holistic health, and we did a networking event, and I had 6 hypnotists come. And so if you get 6 hypnotists in a room and they're not trained on how to collaborate and joint venture, it felt like a little bit of one-upping. Could you imagine? Like, well, I do this and I do that. And so at the end, I brought them all together, and I started, I had the conversation with them. I said, what do you do? What do you like to do? Well, guess what? They ended up starting an alliance for hypnotherapists. And this person sent it for non-smoking. This person sent it for weight loss. They became so much stronger because they learned how to collaborate and how to connect. So find those organizations that are doing similar things, and don't be afraid to reach out. There should be no, if you have that feeling of competition, I invite you to lean into it. You know what I'm saying? And say, let's see what's possible. Not everybody's going to want to collaborate. There's people that I've reached out to, and I have the collaboration bug. And you just do what you can, because you will find those rock stars that are going to want to play with you and help you grow. The next thing is build your team, mentors, coaches. This is one of the things that as a leader, if you're feeling alone, it's because you're not asking for help. And so everybody, at one point in my life, I had 9 coaches for parenting, for financing, for relationships, for business. And so I think one of the greatest investments that we can do is invest in ourselves and invest in organizations where you can learn and grow and do that. So, we've all graduated with either degrees or whatever it is. Continue to surround yourself with people who have been there, done that, and can help you, because it's that, what I always say is I would rather learn from somebody else's mistakes than my own, right? And one of the things I learned from doing hundreds of events is I've learned what not to do. And I've lost a lot of money. So I love sharing event secrets with people. I have people call me on the phone, I don't charge them. I'm like, yeah, I'll mention you on events, because I just love helping people bring people together. So find those mentors, find those coaches, and be that resource. And this kind of ties into what Nancy said about the one philosophy. We have a fellow friend who wrote a book called The One Philosophy. If you haven't read it, it's a great book. And in our program, we kind of recognize that as treating everyone as if they're significant. And this is also a game changer, because a lot of times, I'm just going to say how I used to be. I used to just, kind of say, oh, well, this person, I know what they do, there may not be significance here. This person, I already know somebody that can help me with this. And what I discovered is that if I showed up and treated everyone as if they could be the next person that's going to take me to the next level, that miracles happen. And it may not be from that direct person. You might be the one helping them, but it just, your whole life changes when you show up and treat everyone as if they're Oprah or whoever, whoever it is you want to meet. We all know that there's somebody that maybe personally you want to connect with. Treat each other as if they're that way. It's a big deal. Mastermind your goals and challenges. So how many of you read the book Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich? Wow! How many of you have heard of the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill? Okay, you guys want to write this down. This book was written in 1910. And Andrew Carnegie, you guys know who Andrew Carnegie is, correct? He contracted Napoleon Hill to do a 20-year study on why rich people were rich and poor people were poor. And what he found, because he's like, I came here with pennies in my pocket and I made millions in no time. Why can I do it and what's the difference? And so in this study, he found there's just so many incredible pieces in there. But one of the key ones is the power of the mastermind. And in the mastermind, it's where you come together with people that are going to love and adore you and support you. But you can go and say, hey, I'm having a problem. We're having problems getting people to our breakfast. What should we do? Let's get some ideas and brainstorm that. And this is how, it talks about the Ford Corporation, and a lot of inventions have happened from people coming together. Wait, we need to get to the moon. How are we going to get to the moon? And people masterminding it. So if you don't have a mastermind, a lot of times it's the board, but the board is a little more official, right? You have to get in, you have to keep minutes, you have to, follow a certain structure. I know Nancy has that support. Nancy, I'm sorry I keep picking on you, but I feel really, really close to you. I know Nancy has people that she masterminds with, that we're going to keep it confidential, right? We're not going to share those challenges because that's one of the things that you need to have in a mastermind. But she can also say, hey, I need help with this. What do you think? And getting those ideas, getting those fresh ideas outside of your existing circle. Those new ideas are powerful. And this works in parenting. This works in relationships. Masterminding is a game changer in anything that you're trying to do in your life, but especially with the chamber, it can be a powerful tool. And the last one, number 6, which I love, is creating event and media magic. And at the very end of the talk, I have another really cool gift that Tammy does do. And Tammy, you guys are going to love her for this one. I know, don't you? Yeah. Oh, she's really great. So some of this, again, is elementary. You guys have done enough events, and you really, this is what the chamber's about. This is what I know the chamber's about. This is you guys are really what got me in love with doing events. Is I would go to events and there was a great community, people networking, people collaborating. Government affairs has an agenda. Each thing has a place where I could find my home. So in this, there's webinars, there's conference calls, there's trade shows, there's so many different types of events. But the big point that I want you to realize is that everything is an event. You being here today is an event. And I know that many of you may not have let your members know that you're here. And to me, this is a pretty significant thing that you're here collaborating with other chambers and learning things to be able to bring back. And so I see everything as an event. I want you to start thinking about what you're doing. And is this something that we can market? Is this something that we can promote? Is this something that we can let people know? Because it helps us stand out as a leader. So this is one you may want to take a picture of. I'm going to move real quick on this. But this is a mind map of what I found with events. And on the right side, I know if I'm correct, do you guys also sponsor other events too? Is that correct? You guys get involved in other, I know Nancy, you come to my events and things like that. So on the right side here, these are things I try to teach people on how to analyze an event, decide if it's a good investment, decide if it's a good use of your time. So I listed those there on the side. Also, if you're working with a team, because some of you, I'm going to talk for a minute about volunteers and stuff, this is good to let them know or let your board know kind of bits and pieces that you're working on. So this is a complete mind map of all the things that can go into an event, not all of them, and they can go deeper, but just things to consider. So here are 9 essentials to event success. And again, I feel like I'm kind of preaching to the choir. Is there some people here that aren't familiar with events? All of you guys, right? Okay. So the one thing is don't just show up and wing it. Like you guys know that, right? Like it takes a little bit of plan. Create a strategic plan, get people together, set measurable, tangible goals. I learned from a gentleman here who ran Crosswinds, VP of Crosswinds Youth Services here. And when I would do events, I used to set goals with the team. And one of the things that he taught me, which was so valuable, because it's like you get a team involved and everybody wants to win, right? Everybody wants to know that you've hit the goal. So I remember setting the goal and he goes, Shannon, that's a great goal, but if you don't make it, your team is they're gonna be so disappointed with all that they've put together. He goes, we set 3 goals. We set a no-brainer goal, like something that's just so easy we could do it in our sleep, right? Then we set a medium goal and then we set a high goal. He goes, your goal is a high goal, but you need to let the team know the no-brainer because that keeps the enthusiasm going, that gets everybody on the same page. And I was so grateful because we did not reach that high goal and everybody was working so hard. So set those goals, share those goals, get people involved in creating those goals. Again, the more Nancy engaged in allowing me to contribute, I think the more we allow people to contribute, the more they're going to show up and give. Train your staff, they're your marketing team. Make sure you take the time to train people and everybody knows what's going on. I always, before I get started, set 3 goals and I make sure everyone knows what they are. We want brand awareness. We're trying to get new members. I don't go above that because it's like too much for people. So set those goals up front and make sure everybody's clear and everybody's on the same page and everybody's focused on those pieces. Media magic. Share with your local media. Share with your members. Share with your contacts. I have to say, I think that you guys do a lot, and I don't know each one of you individually, so this is an assumption, and if you're doing otherwise, then please let me know so I can give you a big hug and say yay. I think you guys are really busy with things that sometimes you're missing out on the free press opportunity. Because the chamber, I have to tell you, is one of the easiest things to get publicity for because you're a globally recognized organization. Somebody like me, I have to do a little more phone calls and I have to do more work, but you guys can actually put your logos on things and they want to hear from you. So a lot of times I think the boat is missed because in your planning you're not notifying the media. And so if you can implement that in your planning, that's really key. We did something so fun with Nancy about a year and a half ago. Because she had so many events going on. She had the mayor's breakfast. She had, major events that everybody would want to be involved in, whether or not they were a member. And so what we did is we did a marketing party and training. And we actually brought in all of the members. And we had one little group writing the taglines, the headings. Another group pulling together the information and putting it into Google Docs. So we were actually training them, saying, look, you're going to learn how to do publicity, but you're going to help us develop ours. And it was so much fun because people were coming in and actually working. We had them posting on meetups. We had them posting on we had them posting on free calendars and just at the same time teaching them and guiding them on here's things that you could do with your business. So it was really a great, wasn't it fun, Nancy? And so get innovative. Think of ways of how can we involve our chamber. Take this. Anything we're saying here, please take it and run with it because this was something that I know helped us get some media out. I mean, there was just so much going on that she needed 20 people to get those things together. So what a great opportunity to have, get that help and get those messages out there. Identify your visitors' needs, ask qualifying questions. I found that when we're working with a team, and this falls on the leadership of you guys, whoever's leading this, is that we need to learn how to ask more questions and talk less. And a lot of times we're really excited about the chamber, or it's our job, right? It's our job. We gotta get in members. But I've found that a lot of times people just talk and they don't even know what the match is, right? They don't even know what the needs are. And so we want to train our people to ask more questions of what are you looking for? What are your challenges? Like that one question of what are your struggles? they'll tell you, and you have the solution. The chambers, you guys have so many solutions. So it's just teaching your team to ask more questions, let them do the talking. Another great book, if you haven't read it, Dale Carnegie. How many have heard of Dale Carnegie? Yes? Okay, good. He wrote a book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And that's something that I think is really great for everybody to read, because it teaches you how to connect with people. And so I use the same thing when I'm contacting media. I ask them questions. How long have you worked here? Oh my gosh, you must be busy. It's like questions, engage, and many times people will tell you exactly what they need. So that's key in asking qualifying questions. Engage in giveaways, interactive demos, activities. You guys are all great at that, but have that in your plan, right? Make sure you say, how are we going to get people back? I love this piece. I was working with a chiropractor one time. You know how people hand out pens? And please don't take this personally if you're handing out pens, okay? But hopefully you'll do it differently next time. So we hand out pens, and what do people do with them? Does it really generate business?
No.
What do you guys think?
Unless you really like that pen.
Unless you...
back to that
And so what we did was bring this pen in for a free x-ray and exam. The pens were gross after a while for recycling them. I mean, it was just like, it was a game changer because they kept using them. So if you're giving something away, be sure to be thinking about how to create future business. Another thing that I think is great, and right now we're all pivoting online and moving online, is a lot of you, how many will give out a free ticket to attend something to explore the chamber? Can I get a raise of hands? Okay. How many of you do not do that? Okay. So I'm going to invite you to find things that you can give away. Our conferences, we do meals. There's a lot that costs certain expenses, and so we would find a part of the program where there weren't really hard costs. You have to really look at that and budget it. But we would go on Facebook, we'd print up tickets, and we'd say like, share, comment, and tag, and win into a drawing of tickets. And it was so viral, like people wanted to get the tickets. You have to say the value, you gotta let them know what they're winning, you gotta still promote it as if you're selling it. But there's little things that you can be doing that can help generate future business and be marketing your event at the same time. I love going to events and giving out free tickets. I love going to fundraisers and giving out auction items. I don't know if you guys know this, but 80% of auction items are never used. Never used. And not that, I want the people to use them. I'm not getting them because I don't want them to use them, but I'll create a flyer, and guess what? Every single person at that event gets to see who I am, what I'm doing, what the branding and marketing is. So be thinking about where you can give and what you can do to be marketing. And again, this gets back to that collaboration piece. Where are organizations that you can connect with and collaborate with and give things to? Future sales. So that kind of ties in with the giveaways. I hit that piece. And then follow up. This is the part where part of what got me to ground zero was I got sick, and I ended up having a tumor the size of a basketball in my belly. I actually broke a hospital record. It was kind of cool. They said, you broke a record. And the piece is that I kept going to event after event after event after event, and I wasn't following up with the events prior. I didn't have that in my plan. And so when you're working with your team and you're working with your planning things, make sure that it's scheduled follow-up. Have that as part of your plan. Don't just get back into the office and go, what's the next thing we're doing, right? Like, make sure that if you can plan ahead of time, what is the strategy? How are we going to follow up? Divide and conquer, who's doing what? That'll make the biggest difference in the world, and that's really where the gold is. Would you guys agree? The gold is in the follow-up. So I have notes here, and I haven't looked at any of them. So I wanted to share with you, and if you go into the book on page 63 and 65, these are the essential press kits. I'm going to talk just a little bit about how to get free press.
Who is submitting press releases every week in their chamber? Every week, good job. Who's sending a press release every month in their chamber? Great. And not to make you guys feel bad, I just want to shine light on this because I have helped hundreds of people get millions of dollars in free press, and I think you guys are sitting on a gold mine because all of your local media is looking for you, looking for your stories, looking for what's going on. So on this page, I share with you some of the essentials of your press kit. We talked about the power bio, we talked about the press release. You guys don't have to have all of these. A lot of them, they know who you are. But if you're sharing this with a client, we always tell them, share previous clippings, any testimonials, marketing pieces, action photos. Now, action photos is a funny one. And again, being the chamber, you guys get to break a lot of marketing rules. Like I tell people, don't put your logo on it, right? I just say, keep the words and you'll be able to see that in the book and such. But you guys, because they know who you are, you can actually put your logo on there. They're expecting and they want to see things from you. With the action photos, one time I submitted a story and when I submitted it, she said, do you have a photo? I sent in a headshot, and they ended up doing a little tiny article. And I was like, oh my gosh. So the story was on, I was paralyzed, I had surgery, and Qigong actually healed when I got paralyzed. And so I'm like, people need to know about this. Like, this was like the coolest story ever. But when I sent in the headshot, I'm thinking, am I ugly? Like, what happened here? And then I realized that action photos are a little different. So then the next press release I sent, and I think I have a picture here. Do you see how I'm just pointing at a brochure? Looking down at it with somebody in the next booth? That is a quarter page of a newspaper. I mean, it was huge. And then they told the story. So action photos are really key. And this is the one time, how we've been taught don't lie? Right? Have we all been taught don't lie? Or some of you have been taught it's okay? Well, I'm going to tell you this is the one time it's okay. Is that if you're on the phone with the media and the media says, do you have an action photo? What's the answer? Yes. And then you go out and you get a photo immediately. And it needs to be high resolution if it's print. You can't pull it from your website if it's a print. And so you want to make sure that you take advantage of that. We have Tracy Straughter here, who is with Everything Brevard. I think she's speaking. I saw her on the agenda. You can learn a lot from her. That woman has an incredible magazine. She's been in media forever. If you get to pick her brain, you'll love her. But I have a gift, and it's actually back on my table, and I need somebody to grab it for me. I am so sorry, Tammy. So it's in an orange folder. So what I have for each one of you guys is I have pre-written a press release for you about being here at this conference. And in this press release, all you have to do is change your name. I put it in big, bold letters. It says your name. I put in big, bold, your website. You put in your website. So you're more than welcome to tweak it how you want. I'm happy to even send you the original. But this is something that I want to inspire you each to go back and, you quote yourself. One of the things in the press release is you quote yourself. And so you can change the quote however you want and submit it. So some of you are going to look at this and you're going to say, this press release doesn't look like a normal press release. It doesn't. It's not AP style, but guess what? This stands out. So what I did was I cracked the code on how to stand out from thousands of pieces of media. And so there's no logos, it's double spaced, it's on one piece of paper. It's designed to get the media to call you and actually do an interview. Now, I always suggest, again, follow up. Make sure they got it. Tammy, thank you. I'm sorry I didn't. Do you mind if I grab one? I know, thank you. So if you look at the top and you can see where it says your chamber name, you can put that there. You do need the very first kind of subtitle where it says local chamber. I put president, but whatever your role is or whoever you want that's attending, change that there. And put your information in. You can see where it says your title, your name. It's fairly simple to be able to do. Now, I know this is different format than you're used to, but this is what I've used to get millions of dollars in free press, and it works. So can you guys thank Tammy for letting us do this? Thank you. Any questions about the press release? All right, so I want to know who is committed to actually turning in the press release and doing this. Is anybody? You got it. All right. Yay. All right. Look around. This is great. If you're not doing it, have somebody in your department do this. Next slide, I'm going to talk about how to contact the media. So one of the things is, does everybody have a media contact list? Yes, you do. Okay. When I first moved here over 20 years, I was actually able to get the media contact list from the chamber. It inspired me to join the chamber and pay the fee. I don't see any chambers doing this anymore, but that may be something to consider because you already have the contacts. It was just in an Excel sheet, just basic stuff. Not their cell phone, like some of the reporters, I have cell phones and things like that, but it was just, here's where you submit them, here's what you do. So you might want to consider that as a member's benefit to be able to utilize, because it was a really powerful tool. So everybody needs to have a media contact list. Are you guys familiar with HARO, Help a Reporter Out? Yes? Does anybody use HARO in any of their marketing? So Help a Reporter Out is a free site where they are looking for experts to submit to news, to submit to major articles, books, all kinds of things. And so I always invite people to join Help a Reporter Out. You want to control the notifications, because I was getting 3 of them a day, but there are some gems in there for free press. I mean, I've seen Forbes in there. I got somebody booked on Bloomberg. I mean, there's a lot of really great things. So if you have a PR department, you might want to say, hey, just peruse this as it comes in and see if there's opportunities to position what you're doing in some of the media that's there. Also, we have look for things that are weekly and daily and ways to get out of the media. I know when you're dealing with a magazine like what Tracy has, or here we have a local business magazine, they're thinking 120 days out. So this is why that planning piece for events is really important, and getting the press releases, getting those pieces together to have that plan in place to make sure that they can get you in there and get all those things done. So if you go to page 68, that goes into a lot more detail about contacting the media. And again, I hope some of you would be inspired to share that media with your members, because that is what got me to join. When they said, oh, in your membership, you get a media list of all the local media, I was like, oh, that's worth the price right there. It was really a great thing. So, and Nancy, if you're interested in that, I have a media list, we can, I know you have one too. And so, how can I support you? I want to open it up for any questions. I'd love to see if there's things that, questions about the press release, questions about events. How can I support you?
Let me ask, what would you do if, for example, the speech you just gave us, there's 3 chambers here where we are like within 5 miles of each other.
Yeah.
So how should we do that? Yeah.
Collectively and say, hey, the 3 of us did it together? I mean,
you know what? That's a great way of doing it. I would definitely tweak it a little bit. Like I would tweak the quotes. If you can work collaboratively, that's awesome. But I would still all 3 send it out, and I would still call and connect. If you can collaborate for some reason, which I believe everybody in here can, and why you're here, then I would just go home and get it in right away and send it in and follow up. Yeah, but I love that idea. That's a great idea to get the 3 of you together on that. Who else has a question? No questions. Wow. Did you guys feel like I fire hosed you? That was a part with the media. When you contact the media, you don't want to fire hose them. I've had people actually talk themselves out of getting an article or out of getting media because they just talk too much, right? So it's really important to, if they ask you a question, answer the question and then stop. And then, just be really mindful of what you're sharing, stay to the topic, stay to the benefits. This press release is designed, and this style is for them to be doing interviews and calling you. But I do have to say, how I've gotten the publicity is making that phone call, is following up. I've heard no so many times. I mean, one of my greatest successes worked with Dr. Gary Knoll, and I was so determined in getting him in this, and no, we didn't get it. No, it's not a good piece. No, I know we don't have, 13 no's. And I don't stop until I know they go to print, right? I keep going, and I do it nice. This is where that How to Win Friends and Influence People comes in very, very well. And what happened was not even an hour after I gave up, the editor, who I never spoke with, actually called me, and she said, we have a remnant space and we want to do a full page article on Dr. Gary Knoll. So it's like you gotta tell your team or whoever you're working with that the key again is in the follow-up, because sometimes, no, I didn't get it. No, it's the wrong department. That is the game changer. And how I look at it is, if you got something in your local paper and it helped you get 20 new members, or 15 new people, wouldn't that be huge? So everything I'm sharing is really, this is free publicity, and all of you are sitting on a gold mine to be able to maximize that. Yes.
I would say in response to how can you help us, since we do so many networking events, helping our members perfect their elevator speech is something that I'll just speak for myself and our chamber that we should do a better job at. So I would say how you could help is if you could give us, just like your realtor example, I would love examples of other specific fields of responsibility, industries, how we can help our members better perfect their elevator speech to maximize those opportunities when they're together in person.
Perfect. Yeah. So I have so many stories, and I'm even open to doing a webinar where what we did with Nancy's group is we had people actually get on the Zoom, and it was designed to help them craft their pitch. And so they had to be willing to share it, and then right there on the spot, because I'm really good at, I don't know why, languaging it there on the spot. But some of the things that we do is we encourage people to share stats. We encourage people to share the problems, that they're the solution for. A lot of times, when they can share a stat, it just gets people's attention. Did you know that this is going on? For me, that's a big attention grabber. Is here's the problem. The other thing is if there's names they can drop, if there's clients they can work with. Being able to share, I've worked with this company, or here's one of my clients. So we do encourage name dropping and bragging. And I know as a society, it's like, don't do that, but we got to. That's how we know. I was talking to somebody that, we have a web designer here locally who does so much for the community. He's always giving. And when we worked with him on his bio, actually going through, it's like, he did a major hospital here, he's done this, and nobody knew. So we just encouraging them to share who they've worked with in that process. The other thing is a lot of times people want to talk about, I've been here 30 years, I have 3 kids, you know what I mean? And it's just like encouraging them that stuff's great, but really when you only have a snippet, share what's in it for them. Share the problem and how you're the solution. And even sharing a success. Like if there's a recent success that they had happen, could be a way of telling a story. Is that helpful? Yeah, awesome. Anybody else? Yes.
And I just wanted to share also for everyone, it's part of the follow-up, but sometimes pre-event is obviously great, but post-event follow-up is great. And what I'll do is, I take a lot of video for our chamber, just sending B-roll, what the media uses as just generic video of your event, someone at a podium receiving an award. They're starving for digital content, and then they push that out on social media. So I always provide some of that as well with a pre-event, a post-event wrap-up. And usually they'll pick up on that more than pre-event.
That's great. Yes, yes, yes. So did everybody catch that? He said post-event. So I talked a little bit about pre-event, but what he said is essential. I've seen the chambers do it where they'll send in the pictures, they'll send in the names. So thank you so much. And they aren't they looking for the marketing?
Yeah, and on social media, the word will spread faster than sometimes on the newspaper, even in your digital paper, because we're just relying on someone to flip that paper, open it up. But we all know people are on social media all day at different times of the day. And, I'll share those at specific times, at 8 p.m. and at 6 in the morning. Plain and simple. People are in the bathroom and then on their phones at that time, and that's when I notice people share it.
You just reminded me of a strategy. So one time, could you believe that I paid $5,000 for a photographer to come do an event? Would you guys pay $5,000? No. So let me tell you what he sold me on, and it's true, and I'll tell you the secret, because it was, I was like, okay, I paid, I learned, now I'm going to do it on my phone because it was a lot. What he would do is he would come and get pictures, so many pictures, people together, all of this, and within 24 hours, he would get all of them up online and tag them. So guess what happens? People are so excited about the event, they're remembering it. When you tag them on social media and Facebook, then it goes to their post, and then it just creates this whole spider web that happens. But his secret is the time frame. You can't do it a week later. It just doesn't work as well. It's while people are excited, while the energy's up. And so there were times where I didn't have a photographer, guess what I would do? All right, everybody, let's get up and see how many people you can fit in a photo. And so then we would have everybody up at the events and getting pictures together, and it was so much fun. And then they're tagging people. So that piece on social media, and thank you for bringing that up, can really create a viral buzz for your community. Thank you. Anybody else? How am I doing on time? I'm done?
Well, you're up against the minutes, so.
Oh, good. I didn't get a time pick, so am I done?
No, you have
3 minutes, okay. Thank you so much. So the one thing is, just know that there's lots of media out there with your name on it right now. They're waiting for you to tell them. This could be that key to navigating this pivot and getting people more involved and more engaged. Also know that if you're looking for support and help, let your community know. Let them know that they can be involved and open the door for innovation. Right now, I can almost guarantee there's somebody sitting in your community that wants to be involved, that wants to contribute, but they just need to be heard. So with that, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shannon, and don't go too far. Because we're going to have you back in just a couple minutes.
Okay.
Originally, we were going to have everybody go back to her table and make sure you get your books signed, copies of Media Magic that you have in front of you. She'll be doing that, but because we had a change in the schedule and we want to just keep rolling so we can get